The data interpretation is something that I think has by far and away the biggest potential, but is going to be the most difficult for the real estate industry to implement. And the reason for that is that unfortunately most data sets in the industry are not very long and they're not very accurate. And the reason for that is that a lot of the data in the industry comes from third-party aggregators. Principals in the industry don't have any incentive to give third-party aggregators inside information on their transactions. The interesting thing about statistics and numbers is that the numbers themselves really are not all that meaningful. It's the relationship between the numbers that matter. So for instance, if I tell you that in Manhattan in 2019, there was 26.3 billion in sales volume, you have no idea what to think about that number. If I tell you that at the peak of the market in 2015, Manhattan sales volume was 57.4 billion, and that in 2020, during COVID, at the bottom of the market, the trough of the market, it was 11.1 billion, all of a sudden the 26.3 starts to have some feel to it. So in order for the relationship between these numbers and the fluctuations in value to have meaning, the methodology for calculating the data has to be the same. Every research person I've ever spoken to has their own idea about how things should be calculated. Like, for instance, you're calculating a cap rate. Okay, well, are you using trailing 12? Are you using forward 12? Are you making projections for vacancies? What are you using for projections? What's your stabilized vacancy factor? All of these things matter. And how do you bucket different types of buildings? A building, a 5-story building with retail on the ground and 20 apartments above. Is that an apartment building? Is it a mixed use building? If you say, hey, it's a mixed use building because there's retail on the ground and residential above, well, the Empire State Building has retail on the ground floor and offices above. Is that a mixed-use building or is that an office building? So if you don't have consistent methodology, the relationship between the numbers just falls apart. And fortunately, we have data sets that go back 40 years that have used the same identical methodology. So we've been working with data scientists for about a year now to take a look at our data sets and try to come up with things that are predictive, to look at how value has fluctuated and try to come up with a metric or a basket of metrics that will be predictive of when we might see a change in the market, which would really be unbelievable. If that works, it'll really be great. But I'm so excited because I know the integrity of our data is very, very high. If AI does what we think AI can do and everybody says it can do, it's going to be really interesting to see what comes of that.